Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us for today's town hall. I'm Andrew Schiff, CEO at the Rhode Island Community Food Bank, and we have an exciting story to share with you today. It begins with a prominent national nonprofit, Feeding America, making a commitment to equity, which leads them to establish a food security equity impact fund. You'll hear how a grant from that fund will benefit a wonderful program in Providence, the Sankofa initiative of the West Elmwood Housing Development Corporation. Before we get started, I want you to know that today's town hall is available in Spanish translation. If you want to listen in Spanish, look for the interpretation icon at the bottom of the screen. It looks like a globe. Click there and select Spanish. As I'm sure you know, Feeding America is the nation's largest domestic hunger relief organization with a network of 200 food banks across the country, including ours. And in a few minutes, you're going to meet the CEO of Feeding America, Claire Babineaux-Fontenot. Claire joined Feeding America around 2018, and she's brought important change to the organization, including a focus on equity. At the food bank, we've always admired the work of the Sankofa initiative. They've made it possible for lots of people in Providence to grow their own food. And so when we heard about the Food Security Equity Impact Fund, we knew that the Sankofa initiative was the type of program that it was intended for. And so we reached out to them and we applied for the grant together. We were highly motivated because we knew the size of the grant, $500,000, could be transformative for the Sankofa initiative. And then when Feeding America announced this summer that Sankofa was going to receive a grant, we were really happy and we're excited to share this news with you today. We have an all-star panel of the people who are directly involved in this work. From Feeding America, their Chief Equity Officer, Amy McReynolds. From the West Elmwood Housing Development Corporation, their Executive Director, Candace Harper, and Julia Seawright, who manages the Sankofa initiative. We'll save time after our speakers for questions from the audience. And if at any point you have a question, look for the Q&A icon, click there, type in your question, and we'll save time to answer all of your questions. But first, joining us by video is the CEO of Feeding America, Claire Babineaux-Fontenot.
Hello, I'm Claire Babineaux-Fontenot, and it's my great privilege to serve as CEO of Feeding America. Feeding America is a vast network of over 200 food banks, over 60,000 agency partners, meal programs. We touch tens of millions of lives every year, providing billions and billions of meals. And I'm so proud that we includes the Rhode Island Community Food Bank and all of you. Now, I know today that you will have someone from the Feeding America office speaking to you in the form of Amy McReynolds, someone I'm really proud to be associated with too. But I wanted a chance to say a few things in my own voice. So thanks, team, for the indulgence. More than anything, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you to all of you. The work that you're doing is hard, and you're making a difference in the lives of so many people. You're also providing an example for all of us on what it means to listen deeply to people actually experiencing hunger, to go into communities for solutions, co-creating those solutions together. You know that while we have a responsibility to care for every single person experiencing hunger, not everyone experiences it in the same way. And we should do our work in a way that makes that clear as well. So I know I'm not alone in being proud and ready to celebrate the work that's being done by Sankofa. Wow, creating ecosystems that can be self-sustaining, that result in meaningful material impacts on people's lives that can last for generations in the future. Congratulations. Congratulations not only to them, but let me repeat, congratulations to every single one of you. You choose to be great neighbors, and the world is watching.
As I said, we're very grateful for Claire's leadership. And now I'm very happy to introduce Amy McReynolds from Feeding America. Amy, welcome. Claire already did your introduction.
She did, Andrew. Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to be here with you all today. And I'm thrilled that you had an opportunity to get to meet one of the amazing people that I get to work with, Claire Babineau. I'm Amy McReynolds. I am Chief Equity Officer at Feeding America, a role that truly is one of the greatest roles that I've been able to hold my entire career. And I am thrilled to be here with you today. You know, one of the amazing things that Claire has done in her leadership is help to put together what we describe as a bold aspiration for our nation, for our entire nation, not just Feeding America. And so on this slide, you'll see that this aspiration is really about everything Claire just described. It is about ensuring that every community and each person within it has access to the food and resources that they say they desire and need to thrive. That they say, not that we say, that each individual gets to say that, and each community gets to say that. And with that, there is something in this aspiration that has never been done before. Food insecurity rates have rarely dropped below 10% in the history since they've been collecting data around. We believe that we can cut the food insecurity rate by 5% and also reduce disparities of race and place by 2030, to reduce them by half by 2030. So the Food Security Equity Impact Fund is part of a larger, broader grant-making strategy that Feeding America has to intentionally support communities of color and rural communities, which are known to be disproportionately impacted by food insecurity. Feeding America established the fund in March of 2021 with seed funding from a $20 million donation from Mackenzie Scott, whose philanthropy has been changing organizations and communities as a result of her philosophy. We wanted to follow that philosophy, and therefore we spent time ensuring that the fund was intentionally designed with deep input from community-based organizations and from our network partners, the 200 that Andrew talked about, including Rhode Island Food Bank. And we wanted to make sure that the voices of individuals who are leading and serving communities of color had an opportunity to deeply weigh in on the design of the fund. Organizations that historically have experienced underinvestment and under-resourced. And so we work together to ground our fund in a philosophy known as trust-based philanthropy, which is really about shifting from expectations that funders may have that may not be reasonable to an approach that is deeply focused on listening to what our communities are sharing with us and learning from them in ways that can be supportive and help us move toward that bold aspiration. Over the past 2 years, we've built on our partnerships with over 35 of our Feeding America network partners. And to date, the fund has invested $15 million. $15 million of multi-year catalytic funding with over 75 community-based organizations that work in urban, suburban, and rural communities across 29 states, including Puerto Rico and the District of Columbia. I'm also proud to share that while the fund is designed to support communities of color, that 90% of our grantees actually have leaders of color at the helm of their work. The kinds of initiatives that we've been able to fund have all come from community. You'll see many of them on the screen in front of you. Really, I would say, if I were to sum it up, it's really about how we are transforming systems to address the root causes of food insecurity. So that means, again, investing in infrastructure, giving people time and space and the ability to join partnerships. Folks have been reimagining what a different food future could look like. So you'll see a lot of initiatives that are focused on food justice or food sovereignty. There are also multi-generational approaches that have been brought forward, right? So not just thinking about food today, but food for the future. One of our grantees, Danielle Antelope from the Blackfeet Nation in Montana, said at a recent convening, she's thinking 7 generations ahead about the work that she is doing today. And also recognizing the impact of what has happened to her ancestors and how that shows up in the work that's also happening today. The fund also allows different communities to identify ways to build economic opportunity as a foundation to wealth building. And for all of these reasons, this is why Sankofa was chosen as a great recipient. Our committee selected the Sankofa initiative because of the deep commitment to addressing food needs and preferences of the local community. Additionally, they're focused on promoting a path to greater economic health and well-being and transformational change. So we at Feeding America are excited to be in partnership with the Rhode Island Food Bank as we have been for many years, and are now looking forward to welcome the Sankofa initiative into this community. I like to think of the fund in terms of 3 I's. 1, we're inviting folks to be part of a movement toward that bold aspiration and a more equitable future for all that happens at a local level as well as a national level. We are innovating. The ideas that are coming forward are coming from the communities who are experiencing food insecurity. So much learning, so much wisdom there that we can leverage. And the 3rd I is really one of my favorites, and one that I have the pleasure of being able to experience often as a corporate grantee. And that is inspiring learning and further action. In order to achieve what we've never achieved with the bold aspiration, we are going to have to do what we've never done. And the fund gives us a space to try those things, to learn, and to be in community together.
Thank you so much, Amy. We're inspired, that's for sure. Now I'd really like to introduce Candace Harper, Executive Director of the West Elmwood Housing Development Corporation. Welcome, Candace.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for that very kind introduction. I'm really delighted to be here with all of you today to share a little bit about who West Elmwood Housing Development Corporation is and how the Sankofa initiative is one of our shining stars here. So West Elmwood Housing Development Corporation was founded by residents and stakeholders who took action to address the issues of abandoned properties and vacant lots throughout the West End. Our mission is to promote the development of healthy and sustainable communities. And we were established in 1970. And ever since 1970, we've been working with residents and stakeholders to meet the needs of the community and to create and promote opportunities locally. Over these many years, we've developed many strategic partnerships, which have evolved and resulted in the growth of the agency overall. And proudly, West Elmwood celebrated the 50th anniversary of the agency in 2020. Our mission is to bring opportunities to build a healthy, sustainable West End neighborhood by investing in and embracing resident empowerment to support the enhancement of economic mobility and equity for our community. And our vision, should we be successful in this mission, is that families are self-sufficient, healthy, and flourishing in every area of their lives. So West Elmwood has an array of programs and initiatives that aim to improve economic, educational, health, and well-being for our community. Our programs and services include a number of things, including asset management. We have a housing portfolio of 192 rental units that are managed by our management team. Real estate, we build new homes and we work in cities across the state to redevelop foreclosed and vacant houses. And we have developed and rehabbed over 285 units. And we do have several projects underway. NeighborWorks America Home Ownership Center is another proud program that we have here. We provide classes for homebuyer education, for first-time homebuyers especially. We provide financial and rental counseling. We also offer landlord training and lending services. And through the years, we have counseled over 6,000 clients, and over 700 have achieved homeownership as a result. So we provide financial literacy coaching through our match savings program, which is a dollar-for-dollar match savings up to $1,000. And this is designed to assist individuals with low to moderate income on the path towards asset ownership through match savings and financial education. And these funds must be used to support the financial development for purchasing a home, renting an apartment, educational expenses, starting a business, or purchasing a vehicle. And we also enjoy the work of the 02907 Health Equity Zone. The 02907 Health Equity Zone is an innovative place-based approach that brings people together to build healthy, resilient communities. And West Elmwood has served as the backbone agency for that collective. We're engaging stakeholders to assess the needs and identify priorities for our residents around combating social determinants of health and building well-being within our community. We also have the Dunamis Synergy Initiative, which is a 2-generation initiative supporting parenting students ages 15 to 25 with their educational and career aspirations while supporting their children for successful futures. Our vision for this program is to establish a learning community where parents and their children strive together to achieve their educational aspirations, reach positive economic outcomes, and establish a legacy of prosperity that passes from one generation to the next. And we have family coaches who assist us working directly with families to reduce these barriers that often persist for school attainment of those credentials. Our shining star for today is the Sankofa initiative. And Sankofa is an Akan word from Ghana that means to go back and fetch it. It's a symbol of a bird with its head turned back, carrying an egg in its mouth, representing the idea of looking back at our past to learn from it and move forward. So the Sankofa initiative is a collaboration created to a response from a call from West End residents for fresh food that was nutritious, local, and culturally relevant. And Sankofa has been serving its mission through community gardens and a community greenhouse. And the initiative also provides economic development for opportunities for growers and vendors throughout the community. So we have a Sankofa commercial kitchen where small business owners can rent space in our commercially approved kitchen zone. And then each week we have the Sankofa World Market, where approximately 4,000 customers visit annually. Our Sankofa Market is held on Wednesdays from 2 to 6 p.m. If you're local, it's right in front of the Knight Memorial Library front lawn, and it runs from June through October. In addition to those items, regarding Sankofa. We also have a Sankofa WIC Center, and we are in our 5th year of operating, and we provide nutrition and breastfeeding support to pregnant and nursing mothers with children from birth up to age 5. And we serve approximately 400 mothers and children monthly. So on behalf of West Elmwood, the Sankofa Initiative, and all that we do here at West Elmwood, I just want to thank Feeding America and the Rhode Island Food Bank for this amazing collaborative opportunity. And this is going to allow us to expand our impact in the West End community and beyond. So thank you again.
Thank you, Candace. Your programs are so comprehensive, from housing to health to nutrition. And we now have a perfect introduction for Julius Seawright, who manages the Sankofa Initiative. Julius, I'm so glad you could be with us today.
I am Julius Seawright, and I manage the Sankofa Initiative. This grant means a lot to us at Sankofa. It will be a way that we improve our neighborhood to provide culturally relevant food at an affordable price. It will allow us to expand the Sankofa greenhouse by adding another greenhouse that will allow growers to grow food all year around. So it will be an addition to the first greenhouse that we already have. The grant will also allow us to provide a walk-in refrigerator for our commercial businesses and some of our growers. The funding will also allow us to provide a coupon program, a $20 coupon program to members of the community so they can purchase culturally relevant foods at an affordable rate. It's providing 500 coupons at that rate. The investment will also allow us to work closely with some of our Sankofa kitchen members by providing them the resources to further their business through financial capability workshops, marketing workshops, and communication workshops. And then the last thing that the grant would help us do is to work with our community partners like the Rhode Island Food Banks and the clients that we serve in the neighborhood by providing nutritional education classes and workshops and allowing us to give them the knowledge to further their success out of food insecurity and giving them the knowledge to grow their families and their businesses.
Thank you, Julius. So this, grant obviously is allowing the Sankofa Initiative to expand its capacity in every aspect of its work. And particularly the last part that Julius was talking about, the kitchen it's more than just a physical place. It's also training people to be able to use the kitchen and giving them the education to be able to apply for permits and everything that you need to establish a food business. It's a great thing that's happening in that kitchen. It's a great thing that Julius oversees, and we're very happy that it's going to be able to have even more impact. So now let's go to questions from the audience. I want to invite back all of our panelists and welcome Lisa Roth-Blackman, our Chief Philanthropy Officer, who has been monitoring the Q&A, and she can let us know about the questions that are there. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, everybody. Sure. I'm gonna start off at the higher level. I'll go back to you for a second, Amy, and just see if you can comment at all on, from Feeding America's perspective, what was compelling about the Sankofa grant request and what made it stand out, and maybe even sprinkle in a couple other examples of other programs that are happening around the country.
Sure thing, Lisa. You know, I mean, I, I was off camera, so you all couldn't see how excited I was listening to both Candace and Julius describe the work that's happening both at West Elmwood and with the Sankofa Initiative. I mean, that last piece is something that we've heard quite a bit from grantees. Having access to capital to grow your business and access to markets in which you can actually sell your goods, your products, your services are two of the key challenges and opportunities that we have been hearing from many of our grantees, many of whom are growers, Black farmers. I had an opportunity to go and visit with the Gullah Farmers Co-op in South Carolina several months ago. And again, being able to have infrastructure in place to help support that, training, help with getting certifications that are needed to get access to markets are all things that we are hearing from many of our grantees. So seeing the proposal come through from Sankofa, knowing about the fantastic work that's already in play and how the proposal was written in a way to really build on work that is already happening. It's one of the reasons why I call the fund a catalyst. I initially, when we first started, I was like, this will be seed funding. And I have quickly learned, no. There are seeds that have been planted. This is really to help boost work that is happening with communities of color, grantees all across the country. So I'm really excited to have Sankofa as a part of our community. We look forward to learning right alongside.
Thank you. Andrew, I wonder if you can comment a little on this one as we go through the next couple of years and implement the projects in this grant. Can you speak a little bit more about how the food bank is going to partner with Sankofa, where it's clearly passing through the funding, but maybe to speak a little bit more to how the partnership will work over the course of the couple of years?
Sure. Well, one thing that Julius mentioned is that our Healthy Habits team will be working with him to provide nutrition education workshops whenever we can. The kitchen is there, so it's a perfect place for us to do that work. And also, just to expand on, Julius mentioned the coupons for the Sankofa market. So what we wanted to do was build the capacity and the audience for the Sankofa market. I can tell you that the best way to build the interest in the Sankofa market is to go, because it's so fantastic. Once you go on a Wednesday, you're going to want to go every week. So everyone on this call who lives in Providence, and we can always fly Amy in from Chicago, you've got to go next week. Go Wednesday to the farmer's market, check it out. You'll become a regular. Well, basically that was our idea with the coupons. So the coupons are going to member agencies of the food bank to be distributed out when people are receiving food assistance. We know that the folks who are receiving food assistance will want to go to the Sankofa market, and we're sure that once they check it out, they'll become regular customers too.
Great. Candace, I wonder if you or Julius, you guys can choose who can field this one. How does the world market provide both income for the growers as well as being affordable for the community? What does that look like on the ground?
I think Julius is probably better to answer this boots on the ground type question.
So, the coupon programs provide income for our farmers. A lot of our farmers are immigrant and refugee farmers who are trying to make a living in the United States now that they have arrived. This funding allows them to have that resource to create a living. And then the coupons themselves also allow our customers and people in the neighborhood to access culturally relevant foods that they will get back at home.
Great. And can you, I think, Julius, this is for you as well, speak a little bit more about the business incubator program? You have a few folks who are using the kitchen now to run businesses. I wonder if you can give our audience a little bit of an example or two, and then talk about what the goals to grow that group of folks are.
Yep, so we have 2 kitchen members in our kitchen who have been really successful in the process. One is Distinguished Catering, which is a Caribbean catering company here in Rhode Island who caters a lot of large events. She has recently ventured off and launched out of our kitchen to purchase a commercial space in the state to kind of have her own banquet facility. And then we have a second successful business here called Brother Moffat, who is providing meal prep services to local people in the neighborhood, hospitals, and gyms.
Great.
Lisa, if I could jump in and add to that. Those 2 businesses that Julius just highlighted are truly the joy of this whole initiative, because Distinguished Caterer has totally outgrown the space that we provided for them. And I will say this also, which is going to really help us with the grant that we're receiving to expand to build a walk-in cooler. The business, Distinguished Caterer in particular, they have such a volume of business that the health department is requiring they have a space that has a walk-in cooler. So again, we did not have that, but as a result of the funding provided through this grant, we will be able to build that, and any other future business that continues to evolve and grow will be able to continue to grow and incubate in our space because of the funding that we're receiving for this grant. And Brother and Moffat is a favorite. We order from them often. They provide such a great meal planning option for the community. So we are really proud of our kitchen members.
Excellent. And then Julius, maybe you can speak a little bit more about some of the specific training and materials that are going to be provided to support some of the new businesses. And there is a question about, have we already identified who's going to be providing the business support training and education?
So some of the business services that will be providing these new businesses are some basic marketing services, financial services, safe training, hopefully in their native language, or a language that they understand. We currently have a lot of businesses who want to go through the process, but don't have that support in their native language. And then some of our partners that we be working with to provide those services are Social Enterprise Greenhouse, Rhode Island Food Policy Council, and then possibly Hope in Maine. Where our focus is a little different here at Sankofa. We want to acquire businesses who are providing that culturally relevant food to add to our kitchen member list.
Excellent. So there's a question and a comment about nutrition education. The question is, will the food bank be providing all of the nutrition education, or are other partners being brought in to do that? And before you answer, Julius, we also have a commercial announcement from our Healthy Habits and Community Outreach teams who are really excited to work with you guys, and they're going to be making a recipe at the Sankofa World Market on September 20th from 2 to 6 and on October 4th, while also talking with guests about SNAP and other resources. So there's a chance to engage and check that out and see what they're offering if folks can be there. Maybe one of my colleagues can type some of that into the chat so people have the information, because I can't talk to you and do that all at the same time. But Julius, back to that question about are there other partners that are providing nutrition education?
So the primary focus will be support from the food bank, but we on staff have a WIC nutritionist who works with our WIC families. So she'll be brought in to kind of assist with some of those workshops, along with some other community partners.
Great. And then I think it may have been answered. There was a question if we can make sure we are putting there they are, the hours for the world market. Okay, so you guys got that. Thank you. And then Julius, I wonder in a broad sense if you can comment on how has the community received news of the grant, or how is word spreading around the Sankofa community and the growers, and what's been the response and the reaction in the community?
I think the community is very excited about the grant through our partners and the people that we serve. I know the coupons have been distributed for about 3 weeks already, and over 100 of those coupons have came in. We had one of our famous vendors, Teo and Margarita, their very first week, they turned in over $700 worth of those $20 coupons. And that is huge for them and their farming business.
That's great. So people are actually taking them and coming on over to see what's being offered. And I wonder if you can speak a little bit to, I know you mentioned earlier, and we know this is one of the great things about this project, is that a lot of the growers are immigrant and refugee growers who really were looking to have products that were familiar from their home countries that they didn't find in the supermarkets here. I wonder if Julius, you or Candace can maybe just give some examples for the audience of what kinds of things they might find when they go to the farmer's market.
Yeah. So some of the products that are highly sought out are like potato greens, bitter melon, bitter bowl, these spicy African peppers that they freeze over the winter and make jams and relishes from. And then there's a lot of other different kind of potatoes, like sweet potatoes and yams, that are highly sought out.
And as a customer myself, I will say we do have a grower or two that grows okra, which is something you really can't find. And I usually am always asking for it and looking for it when I attend on the weekly visit.
Excellent. I have one other question, Andrew. I'm going to throw this one to you just to talk a little bit about how the vouchers work. And I believe that they're allocated specifically to a handful of member agencies right in the neighborhood where Sankofa is. But we do have a question about how the vouchers work and whether they're more widely available or not.
They're not widely available, but Lisa, what you said is exactly right. They've been distributed to our member agencies that are right in the neighborhood of the Sankofa initiative and the farmers market, the Sankofa market, so that we're hoping that people will just be able to walk from their homes to the market, use the coupons as their introduction to the Sankofa market, but then become regular customers. And what we're doing is providing them to our local member agencies. And then obviously Julius is keeping track of their use, and we will be able to continue to give out the coupons throughout this growing season and the farmers market season, which I think they mentioned ends in October.
Great. And we have a question about comment first on how important these kind of initiatives are in the Latino American community. And person is asking, how could we connect these initiatives with the need to promote productivity of individuals accessing the services, motivating them to be productive, and thus generating a circular economy in this way? Candace, I don't know if you want to try to take a stab at that one, and anybody else, feel free to jump in.
Sure thing. I know that part of this is expanding the opportunities of our growers. And so we are hoping to increase the number of participants in this opportunity. So we would encourage anybody who's interested in having this opportunity to, either start a business or expand their business by having garden beds that are affiliated with this, which gives an opportunity to sell their produce at the world market. So I would encourage anybody interested to reach out, and Julius would be able to assist in terms of what that whole process entails of joining the initiative. But Julius, please add to that.
Great. I'm gonna ask for any sort of closing comments from folks. I think we've covered just about all the questions in the Q&A. So Andrew, maybe you want to start?
Yeah, well, thank you, Lisa, for handling all the questions, and thanks to everyone for joining us today. And obviously a special thanks to Amy, Candace, and Julius for being here and presenting today. We've recorded this town hall, and it will be available on the Food Bank's website, rifoodbank.org. But thank you, and everyone, have a great day.
Amy, Candace, Julius, anybody have some? There is one last question about letting folks know the cost of a plot for the year, if there are community garden plots still available. That just hot off the presses question.
So our plots range from $25 for our basic plot, and then we have some larger plots that we rent out for $100 for the season.
Any other closing thoughts from you guys about this project? All right, well, thank you so much, everyone. Oh, Amy, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, just know you've got a team of folks who continue to root for and are looking forward to supporting you all on this journey and connecting you with other grantees who are also doing similar work or work that you might be inspired by. So really happy to be connected.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Everybody.